Hey, what's up? Thank you for joining. This is Cookie Jar FX and your host. I am Eric Foreman, here for Tuesday, day three, just about, we can call it, for trading for the week. Just our daily update as we review some of the trades that were taken yesterday or sometime today. So if you guys recall, I was in that pound dollar trade yesterday when we did the video, uh, roughly down about $26 or so, 26 pips, I think, during that time. If you see now, I'm down roughly about 29 pips. Remember, I was saying I was going to get my stats indicator so we can just read it directly, candlestick time, so on and so forth. So that tells me exactly how many pips, or I can look at my P&L. And obviously, I'm down $29 with a 0.10 position, $1 a pip, so pretty easy to identify. And I'll get into the P&L in a second. So pound dollar was pound dollar has been a little funny this today. Like, one of the things that I want to make very clear as a trader, it's easy to enter a trade, it's easy to leave a trade. The bulk of your job is the proper management skills of the trade. And what that deals with is not only the technical part of managing it on the computer, it also deals with the psychology behind it. So, kind of looking at uh, where we were yesterday, obviously when I did the recording, we were still kind of negative, right? So, negative equity. So we was losing on the trade. So the trade was on the upside against me. This move, this spike here that we see, this topping tail, had kind of wicked up, pretty much like a stop hunt, and then continued down immediately. So I was immediately in profit at about 5 a.m. this morning or so when I looked at the computer. And then by the time I was heading out for the day at about 9 o'clock Eastern time, this whole candlestick, I was roughly up about almost $70 from my entry, $65 to $70, I think. Yep. So yeah, about $68 or so. So the reason why I spot this out or want to point this out is because my original stop loss was here. And in the midst of the day or after doing a recording, just kind of really assessing the location and seeing what was happening, I readjusted my stop. So if you guys recall, I have my trade journal here. My original stop loss was at 1.3100, so just about where I have it marked. I adjusted it to where it's at now, which is 1.31131. And what I wrote in my journal was I felt stop was too tight on the pullback. And then I followed up with a note early this morning. Glad I made the adjustment because I would have been stopped out. So had I not made that adjustment, I would have immediately lost 47 pips, although I was correct on the trade. Had I exited earlier this morning, I would have cashed out with a 68 pip profit, $68 or so, whatever. But I didn't. I didn't exit the trade. Why didn't I exit the trade? Because I intended that the move was going to keep bottoming out, right? So we got this official break below the 20 that I was hoping for and anticipating for, and I figured we'll break below this 50 MA. And once we break that, then we'll probably see a little consolidation, a little nonsense going on before we continue downward. That did not happen. So now we're facing bull 180. If you guys know my playbook, you guys also know I play bear 180, bull 180s. But why am I not really recognizing this as a bull 180? Because my original anticipation and my bias and my analysis told me this is a short. And obviously, as a trader, we know there's times where I need to reassess and reevaluate my position. And if I am wrong, I need to switch my role, switch positions, or just get out the trade. But my thought process in really analyzing the move is that I'm not wrong. Or if I am wrong, I want the candlesticks in the market to prove to me that I am wrong. Stop me out now. So of course I adjusted my stop to my new stop where it's at, but I still anticipate a move to the downside. Why? Because as we can see on this 4 hour, we're still beneath the 20 MA. This 8 MA has already crossed over now because of this nice drop that we had earlier this morning. So we already crossed over. It's just the Bulls is trying to regain some control. So I'm watching it. And this is the reason why my stop is here, because if it breaks this price area, then that means it's breaking into a lower high. So it's going to be piercing above, and then the next high would be here. And by that time, I'm not going to be interested in the trade anymore. Now, what are my concerns, right? So I do have some concerns. But again, I'm going to let the market just do what it do. It is a part of my journal to not exit a trade unless I am stopped out. So what are my concerns as of right now? So as I look at the daily, right, I see this daily. I see the topping tail that I initiated after the 10 bar run up. We got some drop, but now we're getting wicks here. And these wicks on the bottom, or bottoming tails, what I like to call them, are kind of bouncing, or yesterday's or today's close. It's a new candlestick that we're looking at now with the green. But this last candlestick closed out rejecting right off of the 8 MA. And am I 100% comfortable with that? No. So mentally, I've already assessed that, hey, if I lose on this trade, I'm good. Like, it's going to be what it is. I'll take my licks and keep it moving. So if I take a loss, I'm looking at roughly a $59, $58, $60 loss. It is what it is. If the move goes back into my favor and we break below the 50 as I anticipate, then I'm going to ride this down for my cone trade that I like to trade, roughly for about 230. And see if we can get that for. I don't know. I'm not guaranteeing that. I'll probably cut it a little shorter, possibly, depending upon how it's behaving. Once it gets to this 50, if it gets back down to the 50, that's about a 90 pip target there. But I also need to see what happens here at the 20. This is a critical location. We're still here. The 4 hour has about 45 minutes or so left on the candlestick. And let me make sure my chart is refreshed, because that time is standing still. And we don't want that. Yeah, so there we go. So the clock is moving now. But yeah, so we want to make sure we stay below this 20 MA. If we stay below, we should be seeing a nice drop back down and then continue onward. So I'm very pleased and happy with that. I'll be pleased and happy with that. So moving on. So we'll see how that works out and plays out. Now, I ended up getting into euro dollar, right? And obviously this is on our list of our market watch list that we have for this week. But I'm going to tell you, and it was one of the top trades here, right? So I'm going to tell you how this went bad, but I'm not nervous. And it can be bad, but I don't think so. So my mistake on this was, it really wasn't a mistake or whatever. I really was following through. So I entered this trade roughly here. I'll go to the 1 hour just so it's a little bit more visible. So I entered the trade here, just about in this area, after we had this break below the 200. Now, I was looking at this this move here, this little candlestick that I'll show you guys right now. Yeah, I'll just use a rectangle. I was gonna use something else. This candlestick here, I was looking at it, and the reason being is because I had pulled out my Fibonacci retracement to see what level we were at, right? So I wanted to kind of assess where we were at, what it was looking like. I think I pulled it here. Was it? No, it was down here. It's just there we go. Um, so I pulled out my Fibonacci retracement to kind of see the pullback. So I see that we're at the 50 fib level. Love it. It's great. 50 fib level is awesome. It's a great level for retracements and rejections or supports. But sometimes candlesticks or the moves like to go up to the 618. So I'm looking at the 50 fib and I'm liking it, but I'm just unsure because this candlestick isn't like selling me. It's not catching my attention. And candlesticks, as you learn through trading, it's the ABCs of the market. So it's telling a story. Each candlestick represents something different. So this candlestick, although I would kind of consider it a topping tail, it is very, very tiny. Plus, it's a flathead topping tail. So I just wasn't sure. So I was like, let me be patient. Let me allow price to kind of work out. So I ended up putting a pending order here. And I'll show you guys the factual statement on that. I had a pending order for euro dollar here that never got filled. And the reason why I didn't get filled was because the move never retraced up to the 618 level. I had my pending order at the 618. It never got there. So when I woke up, I saw that this whole move had dropped and I missed the whole thing. So I'm like, okay, so what should I do? So I'm like, all right, I don't want to miss more of the move because now we below the 200. This is an opportunity for me to get in and short it. So I get in, and of course it drops a little bit on the following candlestick here, but then we immediately shoot back up. And I'm like, okay, all right, so we moving up. It's playing games. It's going to take me for a ride. So it moves up, breaks back above the 50. But what you need to pay attention to, or what's important and critical to pay attention to, is that the 618 is still on the table. So it's still possible to hit that level and then push price back down. So that's the reason why I'm not afraid of taking this trade. My analysis on it is still concrete. I'm not punking out. We're already 3 bars up. The overall move is a sharp decline to the downside. We got huge confirmation on the daily. So I'm not running out of this move just because. And again, they're gonna have to stop me out before I get taken out. Before I think of even leaving the move. So we'll see exactly how that plays out. If it hits the 618 and we get a topping tail, something like this, or even bigger, I would like a candlestick like this to hit off of that. That would be even nice. Or bear 180 or something to reject right off of that level. And then I would look to reposition and add another 0.10 because I'm confident in this move. The 4 hour is still good. It's not shooting up. It's not pushing up hard. It's just snatching up all of the buyers in this, or it's snatching up all the sellers because all of this is a stop hunt. But all of this is still a sell zone. So I'm not jumping out of this until they stop me out. So all of this is still a sell zone. So whatever's in this area, sell off. So that's exactly what I anticipate to do. So right now, obviously, I still got my $63, well, it's 64, but now I guess because of the swap and the commission, is dropping me a little bit. But so balance 1,063. Equity is 950, and that's because it is negative from the 2 trades that we're in now. So hopefully later into the night or by early tomorrow, we'll be looking back in profit. Pound dollar was in profit tremendously. And it was looking good, and the euro dollar was in profit a little bit. So we was looking very good early in the morning, and then it went left. But that's part of trading. It's not about getting in, getting out immediately. Sometimes you have to be willing to take the ride. I'm not guaranteed to be in a trade for one day and then into the next trade. Nah, and I'll prefer if it's not like that. I want to flow through the week. and not be in and out of so many different trades. So that's it on that. Um, we had a wild day, I think, in the market. Just a lot of retracement activities. Just really testing traders, but for the most part, if you're a professional trader, you manage your trade properly, and that's all I'm focused on is just managing my trade properly at this point. It's not about doing anything silly. It's not about selling off because my P&L is negative. Because for a lot of people, this might be scary. Like, oh, like I'm down $30, I'm down $80. I'm not running from it. So just let it play out the way it needs to play out. Let it do its thing, and you'll see the glory on the other end of the page. And if not, you take a loss. You just take your licks and you keep it moving. So we'll just kind of play from there. But thank you for joining again. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share it with friends. Again, this is my journey from $1,000 to $1,000,000, and we are on day 3, and I am loving it. So thank you for joining, and I look forward to touching bases with you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.